Imagine waking up tomorrow. You get dressed, you grab your keys, and head out the door. Just another normal day. Until you stop for coffee. And the coffee you used to pay $5 for now costs 7. You stare at the receipt. Then you look at your bank account. And suddenly, that $7 coffee isn't just about coffee. It's happening to almost everything. Your groceries, your rent, your insurance, even the little things you barely noticed before. So why does everything feel so expensive? The answer is one word: inflation. But here's the weird part. Inflation doesn't mean everything suddenly gets expensive overnight. It happens slowly, almost invisibly. A dollar here, a few cents there, then another dollar. And before you realize it, your normal life costs more. But your paycheck might not change at all. And that's when things start to hurt. Because here's what inflation really does. It makes your money worth less. Not because the dollar itself changed, but because the things you buy with it keep getting more expensive. Think of it like this. If you spend most of your money on food, you feel it immediately. If you spend most of your money on rent, you feel it there. If you drive everywhere, you feel it at the pump. But if you work from home, your biggest expense might be something completely different. That's why inflation can feel personal, because the inflation rate on the news is an average. Your life isn't average. Your bills are. And here's another reason inflation feels so confusing. Prices don't all rise at the same time. Some jump quickly, some creep up slowly, some barely move at all, and some even fall. So when someone says, inflation is 6%, that doesn't mean everything you buy costs exactly 6% more. It's an average of millions of prices, all mashed into one number, which is useful, but it doesn't tell the whole story. Because your personal inflation rate depends on your life, your spending habits, and where you live. Now let's talk about the thing that confuses almost everyone. Why does inflation happen? Well, sometimes it's because too much money chases too few things. Sometimes it's because there aren't enough products. Sometimes it's because making things gets more expensive. And sometimes it's a combination of all three. Let's start with supply. Imagine there's only one pizza and 10 people want it. What happens? The pizza gets expensive. That's supply and demand. More people want something. We saw this happen during the pandemic. Factories shut down, supply chains broke, shipping got complicated, and suddenly there was less stuff. But people still wanted stuff, so prices climbed. Then supply came back, but prices didn't immediately come back down, and that's something a lot of people don't realize. Inflation going down doesn't mean prices go down. It just means prices are rising more slowly. Think of it like running up a hill. You're still going uphill. You're just running a little slower. That's the difference between inflation and prices. Prices are the hill. Inflation is how fast you're climbing it. Now here's the part that hits your wallet. Your salary can go up, and you can still feel poorer. Because your paycheck grew, but prices grew faster. It's like getting a bigger bucket, while the hole in the bottom gets bigger. You have more money coming in, but more money is leaking out. That's why raises don't always feel like raises. And this is where your real income matters, not just the number on your paycheck. Your real income is what that paycheck can actually buy. That's your purchasing power. And inflation can slowly chip away at it, year after year, even when you barely notice. And this brings us to saving money. Because saving cash is important, you need an emergency fund. But here's the catch. If inflation is higher than the interest your money earns, your savings can lose purchasing power, even though the number in your account went up. This is why investing matters. Not because investing is magic, but because your money needs a chance to grow over time. Imagine planting a tiny snowball. You push it downhill. At first, nothing exciting happens. Then it gets a little bigger, then bigger. Then suddenly, it becomes huge. That's compound growth. Your money earns money, then that money earns money too. And over a long enough time, that can make a huge difference. But remember, investing comes with risk. Markets go up, markets go down, sometimes dramatically. So the goal isn't to beat inflation overnight. The goal is to build a system that protects your future self. Because inflation is not something you can completely control, but you can control what you do about it. You can track your spending. You can cut unnecessary costs. You can shop smarter. You can negotiate your salary. You can build skills. And you can make your money work harder. The biggest mistake is pretending inflation isn't happening. The second biggest mistake is panicking. Inflation is a problem, but it's not the end of the world. People adapt. Businesses adapt. The economy adapts. And eventually, things can stabilize. But prices don't usually go back to where they started. That's the part people really feel. Because even when inflation slows, the new higher price becomes the new normal. And that's why you might think, why is everything so expensive? The short answer? Inflation changes the price of almost everything around you. But understanding it gives you something powerful, the ability to make better decisions with your money.